I was driving on U.S. Highway 30 South with my wife and our son Delbert and our daughter Ann. We were on our way from Washington, D.C. to Portland, Oregon on vacation before reporting to my new duty station at the Aviation Supply Depot, Naval Supply Center, Oakland, California. About 7 miles after we passed through Tremont in Utah, my wife noticed a group of objects in the sky which she could not identify. I pulled over to the side of the road, stopped, got out, looked up and saw the objects. There were about 12 of them in a rough formation proceeding in a westerly direction. They were like nothing I'd ever seen before, although I've logged some 2,000 hours in the air. They were identical in appearance.
This is nothing personal, but I have to ask, have you recently taken any LSD lately?
Oh, no, sir. I don't do drugs.
Okay. I just had to get that out of the way.
Yeah, okay, I mean, whatever, dude.
How would you describe these objects?
Like two saucers, one inverted over the other. I had no means of judging the altitude. It appeared to me to be about the size of B-29s at 10,000 feet.
Did you photograph them immediately? Could you please describe as best you can the size and shape of her boobies, barn? Please be as detailed as possible as that. This is a vital part of the report. Your government needs to know this information, and I do too.
I watched the objects for a few moments before getting my camera out of the suitcase. Then I lost more time getting film out of the second suitcase and loading the camera. When I first saw the objects, they were almost overhead. By the time I had the camera ready to go, they had moved to a considerably greater distance.
What kind of a camera did you use?
A 16mm Bell & Howell Film Auto Load Master with the 3-lens turret. I selected a 3-inch lens and set it on f8 and focused at infinity.
Uh-huh. Okay, so do you usually use a swim mask when you go muck diving?
Say what, dude? Are you all right?
Did this single object return to the rest of the group?
No. I allowed it to pass through the field of view of the camera 2 or 3 times, and then it disappeared.
In what direction?
Over the eastern horizon.
What did you do then? So, was this lady naked before you started filming? Or did your camera entice her to disrobe?
I know. I thought we were here to talk about the flying saucer I filmed.
We'll get to that shit in due course, Bobby, right now. I need to know what sort of stockings was this gal wearing.
But all due respect, sir, I'm not sure why you keep asking me about woman in their tatas. I'm trying to, describe what I saw flying in the sky.
Huh? And you expect us to believe this line of bullshit? So tell me, Bobby, have you ever seen a grown man naked?
No, and my name's not Bobby.
Was this thing you saw up in the sky because you were high? Or do you want to tell me about the bodacious tatars? I'm talking Grand Teton. Tatars, I'm a mountain man and I like to climb some steep peaks now and then.
God, I didn't see any woman taking her clothes off. I saw a flying saucer and I filmed it with my Air Force Bell and Howell 16mm camera.
So, are we talking tatars or bodacious tatars?
No, sir, I never saw any woman or anybody taking their clothes off. I saw a flying saucer.
Huh? And you expect us to believe this line of bullshit?
I'm just being honest here, sir.
Yeah? And rocks fucking grow too smartass. I need to know about the tatars, damn it. Were they luscious samples or just your average everyday bumps?
I was told I would be describing my experience while filming the metallic objects in the sky a few days ago. Nobody told me I'd have to go through all this sort of rigmarole.
Look, help me out here, kid. I'm part of Project Blue Book, and they've got us trapped 2 miles down inside a friggin' mountain, and I haven't seen a woman in a coon's age, so if it's not too much trouble, could y'all just make some shit up for me? How does this film you shot compare with what you saw with your naked eye? You have studied the film.
Yes, I've studied it. I'm very disappointed. The film falls far short of showing what I saw with the naked eye, due to the delay in getting the camera started and my air exposure. If I'd had this camera in the seat beside me, loaded and ready to go, there'd be no need for questions. The Air Force would have the answer.
What is your full name, please?
Delbert Newhouse.
And you are on active duty with the Navy?
Yes, sir, I am.
What is your official Navy rank?
My title is Chief Photographer. I'm a commissioned warrant officer, United States Navy.
How long have you been in the service?
21 years.
Now, is there anything you can add to the description of these objects?
They had a bright silvery color.
Can you describe some particular detail?
They had a metallic appearance. They seemed to be made of some kind of polished metal.
I spent a full week in Dayton. I had hoped to see the Newhouse film before returning to Washington, but it was still under analysis by the Wright Field Photo Lab. When the analysis was completed, the film was taken by an Air Force courier and hand-carried to Washington to be viewed by the Director General of Air Force Intelligence.
It is.
All set, Major?
Yes, sir.
Air Technical Intelligence has reported that this film could not be produced under simulated conditions.
Let's go. There'll be several feet of blank film before the pictures come on.
The film, as Newhouse had predicted, was in bad condition, but the chief interest was in movement, speed, and light source. After a moment, the general asked to see it again.
I've been in the Air Force for over 50 years, and I've never seen any sort of shit like that. Major sweat balls. Could you please explain to me what the fuck is flying around up there?
What the fuck is flying around up there? That's all he had to ask to get the wheels turning, to get answers to this vital question.
A few days later, Major Fournet had some news for me.
We got the analysis of the Newhouse film from Air Materiel Command.
What does it show?
Not birds, not balloons, not aircraft, not faked. With the telephoto lens used, weather balloons within 5 miles distance could have been determined on the film. At a greater distance than 5 miles, they could not attain the speeds calculated. Within a 5-mile range, an aircraft of 40-foot wingspan could have been clearly determined. In excess of 5 miles, the speeds of the objects are greater than aircraft could achieve, except in a straight-line speed run. No bird is sufficiently reflective as to cause the film to react as strongly as it is done.
If they're not birds, not balloons, or aircrafts, would you mind telling me, Johnny, just what the fuck these things are?
We've had every expert on the planet go over this stuff, and it turns out these things are actual UFOs. They can fly circles around our best jet fighters.
So you're telling me These things are some of those damn UFOs everybody's been talking about. I can't print that sort of shit, Major. My editor would boil my balls in Tabasco sauce if I showed up with a story like that. I had spent the night pounding my old lady, and I was pretty wiped out when she woke me up and showed me the morning paper. Those damn UFOs were flying around Washington now. Now I have no choice but to print the story and be damned with my editor and the possibility of boiled balls.
The Air Force interest in this problem has been due to our feeling of an obligation to identify and analyze to the best of our ability anything in the air that may have the possibility of threat or menace to the United States. In pursuit of this obligation, since 1947, we have received and analyzed between 1,000 and 2,000 reports that have come to us from all kinds of sources. Of this great mass of reports, we have been able adequately to explain the great bulk of them, explain them to our own satisfaction. We've been able to explain them as hoaxes, as erroneously identified friendly aircraft, as meteorological or electronic phenomena, or as light aberration. However, there have been a certain percentage of this volume of reports that have been made by credible observers of relatively incredible things. It is this group of observations that we now are attempting to resolve. We have, as of date, come to only one firm conclusion with respect to this remaining percentage, and that is that it does not contain any pattern of purpose or of consistency that we can relate with to any conceivable threat to the United States. We can say that the recent sightings are in no way connected with any secret development by any agency of the United States.
This is the Utah film as it was originally photographed.
The image structure and maneuvers definitely eliminate any kind of known aircraft.
This is where Chief Photographer Newhouse, in his excitement, changed exposure. He believed that by changing density and giving the film more contrast, he could clarify the objects. The single object that reversed its course. The bounce is due to handheld camera. Now we study the action of one section of the film. We stop the action. We move in.
Within a 5-mile range, aircraft could be determined. In excess of 5 miles, the speeds are greater than aircraft can achieve, except in straight-line speed runs. The movement here follows an elliptical or circular pattern. Microscopic examination reveals that the objects are well focused. Their size varies from 1/6 to 1/10 the size of the moon, as it appears to the naked eye. Their form is circular and sometimes elliptical. This fits the commonly used flying saucer description.
Observe the object in the upper left corner. We move in to study the action. The object upper left will go out of frame on widescreen projection. Observe the motion of the two objects, upper right, as we rock them back and forth. Now we move over and up on the frame to make a closer study of the object in the upper left corner.
Examine this object closely. Compare it with those objects you saw in the Montana film. These films were taken approximately 2 years apart, hundreds of miles apart.
We drop back to the original perspective and resume. Now the section of the film where photographer Newhouse changed exposure.
Weather conditions, together with the persistence and motion of the formations, eliminate the possibility of atmospheric mirages. Photogrammetric experiments have shown that the images cannot be associated with any kind of birds at any distance.
Stop. Now forward again. Stop. We drop back to original perspective. Now once again, and for the last time, the Utah film.
The objects cannot be associated with any known balloon observations.